I've met very few people, even people whose cleanliness of their homes doesn't match my standards. I've met very few people who don't want a clean home. But we put so much emphasis in chores and tidiness around the house in this physical manner. But what about the spiritual manner? Welcome to the HHP podcast. My name is Chris Frankie, and I am the senior pastor of HFF.church in Oklahoma City. Join me and others from around the country as we talk all things Bible, church, and family. We may be right, we may be heretical, but that's for you to decide. Drop a like, a share, a comment, subscribe, and let's get to it. The spiritual and the physical are always tied together. We see this in Judaism, we see this in Christianity, and honestly, in a lot of the world's religions, we see this. And so there's a lot of emphasis on, oh, people are coming over, I need to clean up my house. Hurry, kids, vacuum, put away the dirty clothes, do all these things. But that's chaotic. Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we just little by little every day keep our home clean? Little by little tackle the projects. Okay, so we worry about the physical cleanliness of our house or what other people will think about the physical cleanliness of our house. But why wouldn't we worry about the spiritual, emotional, mental cleanliness of our house? This is where repentance comes in. Repentance and forgiveness helps keep our home clean. Ephesians 4 says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ forgave you." Every home gets messy, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. It's hard to do life with people. Sometimes you get selfish. Sometimes you get crosswise. Sometimes you just need time to yourself. The healthiest of families aren't those without conflict, but those who clean up quickly. They don't let things linger. They model repentance. By modeling repentance, you teach your children that mistakes don't end love. They begin healing. Unforgiveness will harden our hearts towards each other. Repentance softens them, and it removes the burden. When you fail, confess it. When they fail, offer grace. Modeling quick repentance and forgiveness, is this something you do? Or do I let the hurt linger in silence? Or worse, do I allow it to adjust my tone, how I talk to people? Do I hold it over people's heads? Why? Because if you can't forgive people in your family, you can't rest. And rest is a spiritual discipline. In Isaiah 30:15, it says, "In returning and rest, you shall be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength." A hurried home breeds anxious hearts. God's design is for rest so that you can have rhythms of renewal, a weekly Sabbath for your soul. When families rest together, they teach that productivity doesn't define their worth. The presence does. Rest will restore perspectives, and it reconnects our hearts to God. So guard one day each week for rest, play, family time, worship. Have you filled your schedule so full that God has no room to dwell in your days? I mean, most of us would have to probably answer that as yes. Our days are so full. Okay. Well, habits are the liturgy of our home. What we do is liturgical. It is a form of worship. Repeated acts of love shape belief. Every household preaches something through its habits and patterns. And when those patterns reflect prayer, peace, forgiveness, gratitude, joy, and rest, they're teaching your children that God is both holy and near. The goal isn't to run a perfect home. I don't know of a perfect home. Mine certainly isn't perfect, but it is to build a faithful home. A Christ-centered household models steady rhythms that remind everyone who holds your home together. And that is Jesus, or at least it should be. and the Spirit of Jesus. Philippians 4:9 says, "Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen from me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you." So let your family's daily life become its greatest sermon and testimony, one where love is visible, forgiveness is normal, gratitude is contagious, and the presence of God is unmistakable. Because that's the habits of a household that are healthy.
If this podcast has blessed you, please consider supporting by visiting our website and making a donation. For more resources, blogs, podcasts, please visit us at HFF.church. Looking for a church home? Join us for Saturday Church in OKC every Saturday morning, starting at 10:30.